What is up, everybody out there in HeroClix land? This, once again, is Scott Porter back for a brand new HeroClix unboxing series. This time, for the brand new DC set, Masters of Time. Boom! This set is going to be awesome. First of all, never did I ever expect them to do a set based around Rip Hunter? Booster Gold? I mean, the Masters of Time, I know it had Superman and Green Lantern in it, you know, post Infinite Crisis, but man, that is an awesome place to start. So what are we going to find in this set? I don't know, guys. And I also don't know exactly when this set releases because we are so far in the past from this set, we don't even have an official release date yet. That is how early you guys are getting a look at this set, and me as well. So, first things first, let's crack this bad boy open. Let's see what we have on the outside of these boosters here. If you've never been along for the ride on one of my unboxing series, we're going to do 2 boosters a day, plus a little something extra each and every day. Day 1, we're going to do a play-at-home kit based around Detective Chimp. Day 2, play-at-home kit based around this awesome version of Batman, what I'll get to in a little bit. Day 3, we're going to do Legacy cards. And then Day 4 and 5, in this set specifically, they have Jurassic boosters. Has anybody read Jurassic League? That's right, Justice League as dinosaurs. Yeah, going back in the past and watching these things pop out of here. This is going to be awesome, and I'm so excited. So we have a Jurassic booster as a part of the brick for Masters of Time. So we're going to open one of those on Thursday, and then WizKids sent me an extra one to share with you guys, so we'll open that one on Friday. So there you go, a little roadmap of what we're going to do here on the unboxing. Now, what can we expect in the set? Well, oh my gosh. Okay, on the front, we have a bunch of different versions of Batman, okay, going throughout time. And I think this is from just post Final Crisis, Grant Morrison's nutso DC reset that he did. The Return of Bruce Wayne is what this looks like here, where Bruce Wayne goes all the way back to the dawn of man. Anthro, the first man, starts the mythos of Batman all the way back then. I'm talking when Metron gave Anthro the idea of fire. The first time man lit a fire, Batman goes back to that day, right? And then he flies through time. He's a pirate. He's a pilgrim at one point. He goes into the future. He's a android at the end of time, at vanishing point. So that's what we've got on the front here. And on the side as well, you can see them all. Okay, that's really, really cool. All these different Batmen through time. Okay, so if you're following along at home, definitely read that book. It is so good. It is so cool. It's a rebuilding of Batman in a way that we hadn't seen in a long time. Grant Morrison responsible for most of it. On the other side, this is really cool to me. Now, I wouldn't have expected this because I thought we were dealing with time travel. On the bottom here, it looks like we've got a bunch of Justice League Dark, okay? We've got Zatanna, who says everything backwards. What an awesome comic situation we've got there. We've got Constantine, who was a Vertigo character for a long time, so to see him on the outside of this box is really, really cool. And we've got Etrigan, of course, gone form of man, Rise the Demon, Etrigan down there at the bottom. So Justice League Dark on the top. Woo! Oh man, they're doing such cool Elseworld stuff over at DC. We've got Dark Knights of Steel, which if you haven't read it, if you like Game of Thrones and you like DC Comics and you want those things to get together and have an awesome baby, that is this book series. Guys, please go read it. We've got the head of the House of Storms, Jefferson Pierce. You might know him as Black Lightning. We've got the Batman, who I don't want to spoil it, what Batman's deal is in that. We've also got Diana Prince. So cool. So we've got some members of the House of El, the Themyscira. We've got the House of Storms. Really, really neat. On the back, we've got the main man himself, Rip Hunter. Listen, do you need to go back and read the original Masters of Time from like 1989, 1990, before 0 Hour ever hit? No, you don't. Not necessarily. That being said, still a really fun book and a time capsule of what comic book writing was back in the early 90s. It has a couple of heroes in it, but mostly it's just Rip Hunter and it's really archaic time travel mechanisms. Everybody could only go one way in time, and then they'd have to use a different device to come back, and they could only do a time travel trip once in their life. This was the mechanics of time travel back in the day. Completely wiped away now, so it's a little bit old-fashioned. He had to use a time treadmill. He had to use time spheres. He used that, I don't know, a time scale. He had a time blender he'd throw people in. I don't know. You know, it's like, but the other Masters of Time with him and Booster Gold, Superman, and Green Lantern going through time, trying to find Batman after Final Crisis. Very, very cool book. I do suggest you read that. Rip Hunter on the back here. A character that I actually auditioned for multiple times. I just come off a Heart of Dixie on the CW. You know, the Arrowverse was kicking. You know, Rip Hunter was going to be the head of Legends of Tomorrow. And I was like, man, I got this in the bag. I went in 3 times. Did I get it? No. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, guys. And he became British. And now, like, is Booster Gold British? I don't know, you know, who knows? Anyway, long story short, the actor was fantastic. Legends of Tomorrow, a lot of fun. But this is Rip Hunter from the books, who has gone crazy a number of times. So very cool. Now, the thing is about the back of these boosters is usually that's a clue as to what the chases are. So are the actual Masters of Time and maybe their enemies, the Time Stealers, maybe are they going to be our chases? That would be pretty interesting. You know, Black Beetle, Protegaton, Despero, and then, of course, Superman, all that. Is that our chases? Not so sure. Usually you have more than just one clue on the back. So if this Rip Hunter is a chase or maybe even Ultra Chase, I'm going to be super bummed because I want Rip Hunter. I want to be able to show him to you guys, and we'll see what we do. Okay. On the outside of the Jurassic booster, on the front, you've got the Bat one, the Batman, Batmanosaur. I mean, these names are what are you? We've got the Superman, we've got the Green Lantern, Green Torch, as he's called. On this side, we've got Flash Raptor and Wonder Dawn, Aquanix. These are all of the Jurassic Justice League. So I don't know quite how these are going to work. Are we going to get regular figures out of here? Are we going to get the big guys? Are we going to get multiple big guys? I'm not sure. We'll find out starting on Thursday. All right. Like I said, not sure when the set comes out, but I can't wait to break into it right now. So I would say WizKids said late summer, maybe August for this set to be released. But again, we are so far ahead of schedule to share these spoilers with you guys. We're not quite sure yet. So keep your eyes peeled for both the pre-release and for the brick and mortar store releases. All right, without further ado, let's start cracking into these boosters before I start to figure out what I expect from this set. Because when you say Masters of Time and you're going to deal with past, present, future, it could be anyone, anywhere, anytime. They could deal with any of the crises, right? They've had 7 major crises at DC. We could use characters from any of them. So really no clue what the sub-themes kind of are outside of Dark Knights of Steel. Maybe, hey, maybe Justice League Dark. Maybe that's a sub-theme. But without further ado, let's get cracking. All right. First booster here. Oh, yeah. Wow. All right. Starting with famed, you know, Captain Marvel / Shazam villain. Also, big villain for the Masters of Time themselves, Mr. Mind. Yeah, the little caterpillar who becomes a giant reality warping space moth who with every flap of his wings can change the course of a world's future. Okay, next we have, wait a minute, is that Nighthawk? Yes! Dude, All-Star Western, if you haven't read it, Nighthawk, there's some pretty cool stuff with Nighthawk and with the love of his life, Cinnamon. Also Jonah Hex. So we're going to get Old West characters, kind of. That's so cool that we're getting Nighthawk. Not a character I expected to be in here. So already being thrown for a loop. Let's see what else we've got. Oh, of course, a Blackhawk pilot. A lot of people who read Birds of Prey are probably understanding who Lady Blackhawk is. But back in the day, the Blackhawk pilots were a big, big thing. Sergeant Rock, Easy Company, Lady Blackbird, the Blackbird pilots. And then we've got Anthro, who I just talked about, Batman going back in time and kind of meeting Anthro, the first boy, the first man, however you want to say it. And then, is that Superboy? No, that's a Daxamite. Oh, yes. A couple of you out there might know the Daxamites just based on a Legion of Superheroes character, Mon-El, or if you're a Green Lantern fan, Sodom Yat actually is a Daxamite. So, all right. These are our 5 first. No super rares. I always start on the back right side of the boosters. Hopefully we've got a super rare or prime or something in there cool to share with you guys. Let's see where we want to start. I think we want to start with a couple of the generics. So I'm going to slam Blackhawk Pilot up here for you guys to get a look at the sculpt. I'll turn her around for you here. I love getting good generics, so let's see what she is all about. Blackhawk Pilot has a trait, Formidable Resolve Ace Pilots. When a friendly character with the soldier keyword is KO'd by an opposing effect, give Blackhawk Pilot a Formidable Resolve token free. Remove a Formidable Resolve token. If you do, Blackhawk Pilot and friendly characters they carried this turn can use super senses until your next turn. That was their first trait. And I should have said they have passed soldier and vehicle keyword set number 13, coming in at 30 points. They also have a special damage power. You see, they're flying with Ace Pilots Enhancement. When Blackhawk Pilot uses it, modify the attacking character's attack by +1 if they have the vehicle keyword. So enhancement plus getting a bonus to attack. What a cool support piece. Doesn't look like they have more than one passenger, so they're only carrying one person at a time. I wasn't sure if they might have the passenger ability. Doesn't seem like they do, but I love the Formidable Resolve trait. Looks like it might be something that could be shared amongst other generics or other characters. All right, that is a first look at a figure from the set. Let's move on to Daxamite. Now, before I put him out there, yeah, so the Daxamites basically were a group of Kryptonians who went on a pilgrimage across the galaxy and settled on a different planet, had a different sun. They are just as powerful as Superman for the most part, but they didn't have their powers as they were in a universe that had a different sun. The Daxamites, when they come to our universe, they're powered. Sodom Yat, being a Daxamite, imagine having the powers of Superman and being given a Green Lantern ring, how powerful that guy was. It was no surprise that he became, you know, the keeper of Ion, right, for a while after Kyle Rayner gave up that particular title. Maybe we'll get Sodom Yat in this set. That would be awesome. Mon-El is another character, though, right? Superboy used to go back and forth with Legion of Superheroes, go back and forth in time. Once Superboy kind of became not a part of that history anymore for the Legion of Superheroes, Mon-El kind of showed up, and he was the Superboy stand-in. He's a Daxamite, has a lot of the same powers. He's been brought to our timeline, done some really cool stories. So maybe Mon-El, maybe Sodom Yat. Those are some clues that the Daxamite might give us. All right. Already looking very much like Superboy to me. As far as that stance, kind of feels youthful. Doesn't feel like the big, proud, like Superman hand on your hips, you know, listen to me, I'm the authority on everything. Feels a little more young, a little more energetic in the pose there. Daxamites, set number 16. They come in at 120, 80, or 40. So like I said, powers of Superman, if you're paying 120 points for a generic, they better be strong. And look at that. They got hypersonic speed. They got running shot. They got charge that alternate all the way down their dial. Definitely strong defense power all the way down, close combat expert, etc. 5 range, some improved targeting. They see through hindering terrain. So a lot like your Supermen. Really, really cool stories with the Daxamites, you know, their whole world being in danger, having to be saved a number of times. I won't go too into detail on that just because, I mean, they're a generic, but, you know, trust me, plenty of story time with Scotty P still coming. I talked about Anthro the First Man in the opening of this video. So let's go ahead and take a look at him next. I'll toss him onto your spot here. He's got his little club. I'm surprised he's not starting fire. Like I said, Metron gave him the gift of fire. Went back to the dawn of man, and Anthro is the first man. Yes, and guys, if you noticed, we are not at Hyper RPG Studios. I'm actually up in Toronto doing this in a different spot. So I'll just turn this guy on my own for you. Anthro, Brute, Past, Warrior Keyword, set number 26, has a trait. Used to dealing with things bigger than myself. When Anthro attacks a character with giant or colossal damage symbols, that character can't use defense powers for this attack. Oh, that's awesome. That's a real David versus Goliath situation, right? Slinging the stone, just finding the right spot on these giants or these colossals to take full damage. The first hero, leadership and support, 11 attack with blades and 4 natural damage? Woo! Yeah, and he's got 3 range. Pretty strong. Take a peek at the back of the card there. You see Final Crisis #1 as his significant appearance here. Yeah, Final Crisis was just an incredible story crafted. Now, at the time, was I a huge fan? No, I think I was kind of exhausted from the constant multiversal, universal reset events that they were doing over at DC at the time, right? We had Crisis on Infinite Earths. We waited a while. We did 0 Hour. Waited a while, right? We did Infinite Crisis, reintroduced Alexander Luthor and Earth 2 Superman and Lois Lane and Alexander Luthor and Superboy Prime. All these characters that reintroduced. They cracked the Earth that we knew in Crisis on Infinite Earths. They created a multiverse, right? And you go into then 52 after that, and you go into all of these stories that they do. Once we got to Final Crisis, I was kind of like, oh man, what are we doing with all this multiversal madness? But Final Crisis now, I think, has aged very, very well. Go back and read it. Deals with the new gods, which I love. Deals with Darkseid and Orion and the death of Orion. It's really a mystery at its core, and it's very cool. It's huge. I'm not going to go too much into it, but yes, you see Anthro in the very beginning of that particular story. Then you see it again at the end of Final Crisis. The Batman, of course, shoots Darkseid with the bullet that was used to kill another new god. At the same time, Darkseid hits Batman with his Omega Beam, this anti-life equation, sends him back in time to the very beginning of time, and he wakes up with Anthro. So Anthro, very important to Batman's history, as well as, the whole DC universe. The first hero, it says. That is really super cool. All right, let's move on to Nighthawk. Now, back in the day, Nighthawk was just another kind of sheriff / bounty hunter / lawman / justice dealer back in the Old West comics that you would know maybe Jonah Hex from. So let's take a look here at his sculpt. You see his little insignia there on his chest. No launchers in his hands, as we call them at the house. We don't use the word guns in my house. The kids, we call them launchers. So he's got no launchers in his hands there, but definitely a gunman from the Wild West. Over time, Nighthawk's history has changed. As we take a look at his card, we've got marksman and past as his keywords. Set number 39, coming in at 40 points. He's got a quick draw trait. When Nighthawk hits with a ranged attack, if it was during your first action this turn, after resolutions, remove an action token from him. Also, another trait, yes, okay, awesome. Bonded through destiny. Unique modifier, friendly characters named Cinnamon, Hawk Girl, or Shira Hall modify their attack by +1. We are dealing with the new Nighthawk. This is awesome. You can see his stats there. Some running shot on the back. He has a second special power, Showdown, Precision Strike, free, make a ranged attack, but only to target a character that hit with a ranged attack since your last turn. I feel like we're going to see a lot of Showdown in this set. I feel like we're going to see a lot of quick draw in this set if we're going to be dealing with some Old West characters. But you can see his real name there, Hannibal Hawks, first appearance All-Star Western in 2012. Here's the deal, right? Back in the days, Cinnamon, Nighthawk, they were, old lawmen and everything. Their history was revamped to make it so that Shira Hall and Qatar Hall were actually those two characters. And this was part of Hawk Girl and Hawkman's love through the ages of time. Remember, they die and are resurrected consistently, and they find each other. They always find a way to end up together, right? Hawkman and Hawkgirl. And this was in the Old West. This was their representation there. So I love this. Hannibal Hawks, Nighthawk, Hawkman is in the set. I'm guessing 100% that we're going to have Cinnamon because, her name's on the card. Hawkgirl, Shira Hall, however you want to say it. Very, very cool. All right. Mr. Mind. What version of Mr. Mind are we getting here? You can see I love the fact that this little caterpillar has glasses. He's got spectacles, Now, originally, Mr. Mind, big villain for the Marvel family, for Shazam, Captain Marvel, etc., Dr. Sivana, Mr. Mind. He was definitely a part of that. Going into the series 52, after Infinite Crisis, he had a huge role to play and became a very super powered character. However, this version of him's not seem to be that. This seems to be a lesser version of Mr. Mind. We've got Secret Society of Supervillains, Time Stealers, Animal, and Monster. I love that Time Stealers is a keyword. He's set number 6. Comes in at 30 points. Has Mind Control, Super Senses, Outwit, Probability Control, and Perplex. You can see 8 range Mind Control. Very cool. He's tiny, of course. Has your suite of support powers there with Outwit, Probability Control, and Perplex back to back to back. If you see on the back, says that the significant appearance is Booster Gold number 10, and that was back in 2008. He really switched gears from being less of a Marvel family villain to being more of a Booster Gold Rip Hunter villain. Kind of switched gears in 52. If you haven't read 52, if you don't know what it is a 52-issue weekly series that DC put out, written by Mark Waid, Greg Rucka, Jeff Johns, and Grant Morrison, plotted by Keith Giffen, who, if you don't know who Keith Giffen is, Justice League International, I mean, he's done everything since then, but an incredible artist. He's also an incredible story crafter. They had a slew of artists helping on that particular book as well, with help from Dan DiDio and Steve Wacker, which gave way to a different editor. Really, really cool series to go back and watch. I know at the time, people were trying to catch up to everything that happened after Infinite Crisis, and 52 didn't get the credit it deserved. It's an incredible story. And in that story, Booster Gold, he has come back in time to make his fortune. You know, he has his buddy Skeets, who has all the knowledge of current day, so he can use the stock market, use sports scores, use all these things to make himself a bunch of money, get sponsorships. You know, he puts soda cola all over his uniform, and Skeets, his trusty sidekick, is always there to help him through it all. In the very beginning of 52, Skeets starts going haywire. At the end of 52 issues later, you find out it's because Mr. Mind had cocooned himself inside the circuitry of Skeets. He comes out on the other side a huge, dangerous space moth, and he starts flapping his wings at the end of 52 and reconstituting Earths that had fallen into one Earth. So Earth 3, Crime Syndicate's Earth, Mr. Mind caused that by flapping his wings over one of the 52 copies of our Earth, of Prime Earth, that happened after Infinite Crisis. I know I'm confusing you guys. At the end of Infinite Crisis, all of a sudden our multiverse splits in 52 different planets, all clones of themselves. No differentiations, just 52 identical versions. At the end of the series 52, Mr. Mind comes out of this giant space moth, and he's the one that actually reestablishes Earth 2, Earth 3, and creates some brand new timelines and alternate Earths, which we've never seen before. This little caterpillar did that. So give him his due, give him his respect. Very cool inclusion here. I hope we see a different version of Mr. Mind. Maybe we'll get a couple of versions of him in this set. All right, good guys, bad guys, separating them. The Daxamites, I'll just put them on the good guy side. All right, let's keep our count. We got 4 heroes, 1 villain. All right, moving on to the second booster. Man, 52, guys, I gotta tell you, 52 is so good. Focuses on Steel and, John Henry Irons and his niece Natasha. Focuses on Adam Strange and Animal Man and Starfire trying to get home from the edges of the universe. Focuses on Renee Montoya becoming the Question. It is so good. Please do yourself a favor and go back and read it. It's collected now. And 2 big omnibuses, and it's really worth a read. All right, let's see. Ooh, Jenny Hex is going to be the next character we pull out of booster number 2. And then we get Booster out of booster number 2. Booster Gold himself, the man I was just talking about. We get, is this Lady Blackhawk? Or nope, another Blackhawk pilot, which we've already seen. I'll set her there. Oh, and yes. All right, let's see. Is this Superboy? Yeah, Superboy. This is awesome. Hopefully this is the Superboy from his time with Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. And then we got our first super rare, folks. None other than Alec himself, Swamp Thing, the avatar of the green, the leader of the Parliament of Trees for a while. Oh, man. Don't let me get into either of the big runs of Swamp Thing because we will be here all day. Let's see where this Swamp Thing is based out of. Is it based more out of Snyder? Is it based out of the original one? Who knows? Let's see. All right. Where do we want to start? I think I want to start with a book that I've read recently that I really, really liked. And that was the new Brian Michael Bendis Teen Titans. Actually, not Teen Titans. I misspoke. Young Justice. That's right. Ginny Hex. Ginny Hex is the descendant of Jonah Hex. She has a trunk that was given to him, passed down from him to her, full of all types of crazy, magical, space-bending, time-bending contraptions within it. Let's see her card here. Ginny Hex, set number 9, comes in at 40 points. Young Justice, Marksman are her keywords. Quick draw. Okay, we just saw that on Nighthawk. Let's see if it reads exactly the same. When Ginny hits with a ranged attack, if it was during your first action this turn after resolutions, remove an action token from her. It does. So confirmed, we've got a shared trait throughout the set. Keeper of Jonah's Trunk. Oh, this is awesome. Blades, Claws, Fangs, but also for ranged attacks. She has a range of 5. So natural damage of 2. Yeah, let's gamble. Let's do it. Let's take the shot. On the back of her card, you can see her appearance, significant appearance, is Ginny Hex Special number 1 in 2021. She's also, like I said, a part of the new Young Justice. The new Young Justice book is actually a lot of fun. Bendis's Young Justice definitely reminds me a lot of Jeff Johns' Titans. It has that kind of really fun element. Even going back to Peter David's Young Justice, it has this element of Bart wanting to get everybody back together, just wanting to give everybody a hug. It has a youthful feel to it, even though it has some of the weight of all of these crises, because in Young Justice, in that series of Young Justice, Bendis does address like these 7 major crises that have happened. The fact that Bart Allen has gone in and out of existence, that Connor Kent has gone in and out of existence, has died and come back to life multiple times. This is kind of a book based around the thought that not just partnerships like Hawkman and Hawkgirl, but teams, friendships, that bonds are that special that they'll be brought back together and they'll find each other through multiple universes, multiple time streams, all these things. They'll be drawn together. Was really explored in a really cool way. And he writes youthful characters well. It's just something that Bendis does. So Bart Allen has a great energy. Amethyst, Ginny Hex, Teen Lantern. What a great character. So let's see if we get any more of the Young Justice characters in this set. I would not be surprised if we don't get Bart Allen, right? Masters of Time. That guy came from the future. So, I mean, come on. Give us a little impulse. Give us a little Kid Flash here. All right. Next up, let's take a peek at, we saw the sculpt for the Daxamite. Share the same sculpt. Here we've got Superboy. And I thought that the Daxamite definitely had a kind of a youthful, this one arm in the air, and like he's just getting ready to fly. The sculpt, I think, is really great. I can tell the youth of Superboy here. Superman always has his hands, on his hips or his arms crossed. Seems like he's floating regally in the air. This Superboy feels a little bit different from that. We've got Kryptonian, Legion of Superheroes, and Future. Yes, awesome. He's got the Legion of Superheroes and the Superman Ally Team ability. Set number 31 comes in at 75 or 40 points. Long live the Legion is the trait. Sidestep. Once per turn for all characters with this trait, when a friendly character with the Legion of Superheroes keyword is damaged by an opposing game effect, roll a d6, and friendly characters with the Legion of Superheroes keyword modify the listed combat values by the listed amount until the end of your next turn. On a roll of 1 to 3, modify defense by +1. On a 4 or 5, modify attack by +1. And on 6, modify all combat values by +1. And that's including damage, which is pretty dang cool. That's not something you usually get. Pretty strong statistics there for this Superboy. On the back of the card, you see inspiration for the 31st generation. It's another trait. Other friendly characters with Legion of Superheroes have Superman Ally team ability as well. That is awesome. Legion of Superheroes is already a wild card team ability, so you're getting Superman Ally plus anything else you build on your team with. That is really cool. I love that Clark Kent is going into the future. Superman Secret Origins number 2, that's kind of like a walk through Superman's history, a very brisk paced walk through Superman's history. I read it just to catch up on some stuff, because who didn't get confused with what Superman is the actual Superman and where do I go to read Superman through all of these crises? Superman Clark Kent disappeared. Superman Clark Kent became a depowered reporter. Superman Clark Kent goes into the future with Lois, and all of a sudden Jonathan Kent is Superman. I mean, what are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to figure this all out? Let's give you a Superman Secret Origins. Shouldn't be so secret, but let's just read, the Superman Origins. Just get caught up. At least we've got real Superman in place right now, and that's all I'm going to say on that. All right, moving on to a less confusing character. Yeah, man from way far in the future, Booster Gold. Booster is a simple character, just in the fact that he always seemed to be out for himself. Michael John Carter from the future, big-time sports star in the future, sustains an injury, loses all of his fame and celebrity, breaks into the Hall of Justice, steals a time sphere, and comes back to our current time to make himself rich and famous, because that's all he cared about at first. But the evolution of Booster Gold in the comics has been incredible. Let's look. Justice League Time Master, Celebrity, Future, and Past keywords. Set number 8 comes in at 70 or 40, just like our pal Superboy, actually. So we've got a lot of split dials in this. I know a lot of people like to run lower dials so they can run more figures on their team. You're getting that a lot in this set. Time Masters. I'm guessing this is going to be a shared trait. Probability control. When Booster Gold uses it and an opposing character misses all targets, after resolutions, remove an action token from a friendly character with the future or past keyword. All right, this is going to play very well and sealed for this particular set. He's got running shot, energy explosion. He's got enhancement all the way down his die. He's got some pulse wave there towards the end as well. On the back, you can see significant appearance, Booster Gold, number 11 in 2008. Interesting that they choose significant appearance, issue number 11. But if I recall correctly, that's when we really start building out the whole Booster Gold family mythos in that series, right? You don't really know up to, about a year or two earlier than that Booster Gold is, in fact, actually Rip Hunter's dad. Rip Hunter comes back in time to help the young, naive Booster Gold be equipped to become his father. It's a whole time loop. Yeah, I said less confusing than Superman. Maybe I was a little off. That being said, Booster Gold's growth into possibly the greatest hero that DC has, a hero who has to operate in the time stream so that nobody else can even know that he's there. He can't actually take fame or notoriety from all of the things that he's fixing in the time stream, because if he lets anybody know that he's doing it, it could completely destroy the future. They turned Booster Gold on his head, being this fame seeker to being the greatest hero that the rest of the DCU will never actually know is existing. Was such a cool process. You deal with a lot of his descendants in Supernova. You deal with his future at Vanishing Point, which is the moment before the universe completely ends, and all the way back to the dawn of man. Booster Gold, you name it, in time, Booster Gold has been there, most likely with Rip Hunter as the Masters of Time. Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, I was always a Blue Beetle fan. I almost wore a blue and gold shirt today, but I'm up here in Toronto and my closet's back home, and my wife forgot to bring it with her when she joined me up here. So thanks, babe. Anyway, Dr. Fate, hey, this guy's been around through time too. Hopefully we get a Dr. Fate in this set. But Booster and Blue Beetle were such a cool friendship for such a long time. When Ted Kord was taken off the board in Identity Crisis, really hurt me. Infinite Crisis really hurt me, because I always liked Blue Beetle better than Booster Gold. But then what they did with Booster was incredible. And actually, the first 10 issues of that Booster Gold series that it talks about is him going back in time and saving Blue Beetle from dying, and then dealing with the ramifications of what he does, and then having to go back and fix it all. And maybe that's why that's a significant appearance. Once you get to, issue 11, he starts to realize, I can't do that. I can't go back in time, because I'm going to damage the time stream, and I'm going to hurt people more than help people. And that's really where the evolution of Booster Gold begins. Anyway, Swamp Thing, last of our figures here. And look at this Swamp Thing. So cool. Now, Swamp Thing went from kind of like a creepy horror kind of part of DC to this really, really important figure within it, becoming the avatar of the green, the tree of life, the parliament of trees, understanding all living things that are not flesh and bone. That is Swamp Thing's, cross to carry at this point. He's got Justice League, Dark, Herald, Monster, Mystical, Scientist keywords, 47A. Ooh, that means we're going to get a prime of Swamp Thing here. What are we going to get? Like Almighty Flying Swamp Thing from, the Rot storyline by Scott Snyder? Maybe Black Lantern Swamp Thing? Ooh, let's see. We've got a trait. The green allows me to be everywhere at once. Plasticity and poison. Free, generate a plant hindering terrain marker within 4 squares and line of fire. This game, that marker has, when this marker hinders line of fire, characters instead modify defense by +2. Ooh, all right. Free, make a close attack, but only to target a character occupying a square with any plant terrain marker, regardless of adjacency. Very cool. He's got charge. He's got a ton of improved movement there. He's got exploit weakness, 4 natural damage. On the back, we've got another trait. I'm whatever size the green needs me to be. Shape change, support. Free, choose 1 to use until you choose again. You can be tiny, regular sized, or giant. Also has a special defense power, photosynthesis, immortality. Super Sense is free. Remove any 1 plant terrain marker within 4 squares of Swamp Thing from the game. If you do, after resolutions, he can use regeneration as free. Whew. And he can be tossing those plant hindering terrain markers down. If we go back to the front of the card, generate a plant hindering terrain marker within 4 squares. So he's constantly going to be healing, constantly dropping these plants out, constantly going to be able to attack from these plant terrain markers all over the place. Swamp Thing is awesome. Now, if you haven't read Snyder's Swamp Thing or Animal Man, over the years, Swamp Thing was kind of an isolated character for a long time. You see now from his keywords that he has been pulled into a lot of different things. Wonder Woman's Justice League Dark, Swamp Thing was a part of that. But Animal Man and him are so connected now. Now that we know there are a different color spectrum that kind of run life in the universe. You've got the green, which is Swamp Thing. You've got the red and the Parliament of Limbs, which run all, flesh and bone creatures. You've got the Parliament of the Blue, all ocean creatures. The air, you've got the black, which is the rot. And then you've got the gray, which is fungus, which is actually the kind of the most dangerous of all. They really jump into all of this nitty-gritty kind of horror, gore, storytelling. And who else better to do it than Snyder? I do think that you guys should go back and read Rot World. It's really, really cool. Swamp Thing, Animal Man. Hopefully we get Animal Man in this set. Okay, boom. That is our first super rare. And man, we have a lot of good guys. A lot of good guys. We got to see if we can figure out where the villains are going to be coming from here. That being said, our last look of the day is going to be not a villain, but going to be Bobo. Going to be Detective Chimp. Detective Chimp has played a huge part in the mystical side of DC for quite some time. Justice League Dark, Shadow Pact, his best friend, being Nightmaster, being the leader of the magic realm of Mira, him now having Nightmaster's sword. So I'm not sure what version of Detective Chimp we're going to get here. It does let us know we're going to get a Detective Chimp in the main set, which is awesome. What version are we going to get in this particular play-at-home kit? Now, if you're not familiar, play-at-home kits are going to contain a figure, are going to contain a map for you, terrain markers, a legacy card for an older figure that you may have at home. So everything you need to get a game done of HeroClix, and you know exactly what you're getting in it. Not a blind box at all, so you know you're going to get a map. This particular map, let's see which one we get. The House of Mystery Indoor. And come on, give us the bar. Give us the Bolivian bar, please. Let's see. The other one is going to be... Oh, wait, no, that's the House of Mystery. Where's that? I got to... Now, this is me battling against... Nope, Apocalypse Indoor. I was hoping we'd get the Oblivion bar. That would be so cool. The Oblivion bar, if you don't know, Detective Chimp's bar. I mean, it's his bar now. He inherited it. But it's where all the magic users go to get away from normal society and have a drink and, just shoot the crap about, all the mystical shenanigans that are happening all over the world. So let's take a peek now at the sculpt for this Detective Chimp here. And let's see what version of him we are getting. All right, Detective Chimp. Yep, Bobo T. Chimpanzee. Justice League, Dark, Shadow Pact, Animal, Detective, and Mystical. The Oblivion Bar is a trait. Defend and support. Adjacent friendly characters have Safeguard Mystics. All right, so he's protecting you from taking any Mystics damage. That's really, really cool. Special damage power, some old stuff from the Shadow Pact days, probability control, and perplex. That's cool. I was hoping to get something that had a little more to do with Nightmaster Sword or something, at the Oblivion Bar, maybe some of his friends. He's only 3 clicks long. I mean, what do we expect? As he very often says, I don't know. You're a magician, you're a sorcerer, you're a demon, I'm just some monkey with a hat. We have a little bit of leap climb, a little bit of Plague's Claws. Oh, okay, that's for the sword. He's got the Mystics team ability. Very, very cool. Now, one of the other stars of this particular play-at-home kit is going to be the Legacy card that we get. And guys, it is Starro. It is legitimately the old Starro from Batman, The Return of Bruce Wayne. It says is the appearance. This, I believe, was a con exclusive, I think, or maybe it was a Starro was one of the bigger sets. That being said, yeah, Starro, Secret Society of Supervillains, Cosmic, and Ruler. We'll put the card up here for you guys to see. Let's see, Children of the Conqueror. When Starro hits after resolutions, generate a Starro Fight bystander adjacent to each hit character for a maximum of 6. The Mother Star is a special movement power mind control. When Starro uses it, you may deal 1 unavoidable damage to a friendly character named Starro Fight adjacent to an opposing character. If you do, Starro may target that opposing character regardless of range and line of fire. Opposing characters adjacent to friendly characters named Starro Fight modify defense by -1 when targeted by mind control. This guy is 26 clicks long, has a 10 range with 3 arrows and the Starro Fights. He's going to hit you anywhere. On the back of the card, we've got Parasite Spread, Quake, Steel Energy. Starro can use a Steel Energy when a character he hit with mind control this turn deals damage. He's got Reabsorption, a special defense power. Stop. Great. Stop clicks for the Starro. Regeneration, Super Stents. Power. This game, Starro's green starting line is his starting line. KO any number of friendly characters named Starro Fight, then turn Starro to click number 16 and heal him 1 click for each character KO'd this way. Ugh. Oh my gosh. And the green line, let's see, is 260 points. So you got to play him at 260 to get that reabsorption power going. He also comes in at 180, 180, and 20, of course, for his Colossal Retaliation version. Drain the planet of resources is the last damage special power here, free for each friendly character. Named Starro Fight, deal 1 damage to an opposing character adjacent to that Starro Fight. If 3 or more damage was taken this way, heal Starro 2 clicks. Gosh, this thing is going to be impossible to kill. And you can see the Starro Fight there on the back of the card. Got some sidestep, only 4 movement, 10 defense, so easy enough to kill. Get rid of them. You have to get rid of them. I don't know what better way to say this, but that is going to end our unboxing series for day 1. We've still got 4 more of these to go. 2 more boosters tomorrow on this play-at-home kit, 2 more boosters on Wednesday and all of the legacy cards, 1 regular booster and a Jurassic booster on Thursday, and 1 regular booster and a Jurassic booster on Friday. I can't wait to share what we unlock with this set, Masters of Time. Remember, it's coming out late summer. We're so far ahead of schedule on this, we don't have official release dates yet. So keep your ear to the ground. Make sure you're contacting your local comic book shops and your local game stores, finding out when the pre-release is going to be there and when you can purchase. And when you do purchase through them. Support brick and mortar stores, support brick and mortar gaming shops. They were there for us our whole lives. When we're looking for a community to be able to talk about the stuff we love, where do you go? You go to the comic shop or you go to the game store. Through the thinnest times, through the most vibrant times, they've been there, they've been standing. Let's support them. Make sure you buy from your local comic shops and gaming stores. They're the lifeblood of what we love to do here. I'm up in Toronto. Jason?
RealmSmith.
Huh?
RealmSmith.
RealmSmith is helping me develop these videos all week long. So big shout out to Jason and to RealmSmith. This is so cool that they're able to help me out because I was in a pinch. I was in LA. I had a 3-day window and we are so early that we couldn't get the product there in time to go to Hyper. So I'm so thankful that we've got a lot of help up here. I'm so excited to share the rest of this set. I will see you guys tomorrow. And until I do, may all your rolls be critical hits. Peace.